cradle leads you to the basic spinal rock. Your goal is to come to flat foot, inhale through the nose, chest lifted, elbows tucked. Tucking navel to spine, rolling till lower back is flat, then knee cradling, thighs to belly. Our goal is to stay off of our neck. We will roll to our shoulder blades, tucking the tailbone in, flat, knee cradle, shoulder blades, so mid-back is off the ground. Inhale through the nose, lift the chest up, chin down, crown up, lengthening the spine, triangle between the sits bones and the tailbone. Exhale through the mouth, navel to spine, tuck the tailbone, knee cradle, exhale and perform your roll. So you should when performed incorrectly, you will hear a definitive thunk as your lower back hits because you didn't round your lower back sufficiently. The real goal here is to create a seamless transition. Now the second half of this is tucking in, knee cradling, rolling back to shoulder blades, but not on neck. So that's really our focus. Once we're back on our shoulder blades, then we need to work on releasing the knees and performing this in its full fashion for the second half. So as we come up, we're going to elevate the hips, lifting the hips away from the knees. So you want to think as if you're hanging on a pull-up bar with your knees and you're trying to get your hips the opposite direction, your feet winding around the pole. The front lunge in this series stays down on the ground, palms down. That's the main challenge. We're going to have external rotation at the hips with the lead leg. So you really need a stable foundation. You want to make sure that the back stays in alignment flat with the lower back tucked enough to get the natural S curve in the spine. So you don't want to have angry cat posture, you don't want to have cow posture. You want to be nice and even, parallel with the ground, even though you're maintaining a natural S curve. The flesh itself should look flat. So as you bring one leg forward, knee out, up toward the armpit, foot flat, extend that knee beyond the toes if you can, as long as you keep two hips in one line and drop the hips down. So you don't want to arch. We're not working on arching. We're working on keeping the spinal alignment. So my chin's slightly down, my crown's leading away from my spine, knee forward, hips drop down, two hips in one line. The back leg hip is fully extended. So I have that nice rounded posture from the floor worm. Press back, knee out, come back, and we'll get ready to bring the knee out, up to the armpit. So we're going to have this outward circle. Extend up, foot flat, drop two hips and straight down, keeping the spine in alignment. Nice flat back. It's going to be a little bit off parallel because we're dropping the hips down. Press back with palms and midfoot out in a circle, and that will be exhaling as we drop the hip and extend the leg. So you don't want to reach out to where your heel's forward and you're on your heel. This flexibility in the leg and the hamstring isn't critical. We're not working on flexibility. Flexibility training will be different, more careful, more gradual setups. That's why we're working to flat foot balance on this monkey front lunge. Come back, foot flat, hands, palms, elbows, all in one line. the second variation on the skill family of plank pulls, you're working on bringing the knees off the mat. And there's a halfway point where you even choke down back to that first level, where on the way back, you're putting your knees down. Because the focus is on the pull, on moving forward. You can relax somewhat on the pushing backwards, because you have other pushing motions to be concerned about in the program. So if you place your knees down on the way back, that's sufficient. That's fine. So we're gonna start back in the sleeping warrior position. As we press forward, the only difference that we need to see immediately is we're gonna come off our knees onto ball of foot. So we're gonna start on ball of foot, pressing back. So the main difference of position and structure is, instead of sleeping warrior, we're going to have this bear squat position. So you're pressing backward already with your palm heels, pressing forward with your ball of foot. As you move forward, you're going to drop elbows down, so forearms are flat, hips come forward into plank position. You can drop the knees down initially, then bring them up for the pull. So it'll be, this is halfway in complexity. So each time on the way back as you withdraw, you're placing the knees down in order to develop that full plank pull. That's fine, because the goal is the pulling motion, not the pushing motion. But you need to remember all the technical components on pulling from the forearms. So as you come forward, you're in bear squat. As you come forward, you need to focus on getting the hips all the way down. Each time you should feel the roll of the forearm to hand. So each time you should feel forearms go down, plank position, forearms down, bear squat, forearms down, plank, forearms, bear. In the rear sit through press, the component we're adding now is this cross leg, position. We're going to rotate over, keeping the foot flat and the knee up, so the heel can't drop down into a push-up position or a Spider-Man crawl. Heel down, chest down, press up, and that's what's going to lead us into the next transition. So the chest has to touch, the knee has to stay up. So we're rotating mid-thorax, not lower back. The knee up stabilizes the hips and the lower back so that we don't have any rotation dangers in our lower back. That's why this leg has to stay in place. By rotating over and touching the chest to the floor, you're getting the cross hip shoulder or cross force transfer strength from opposite hip to shoulder. As you come up, that's when the leg can transfer through. In the opposite side, chest down, knee up. So you have to press the knee away, keeping the heel down. Level 2 is a sit-through extension, which some of you may have seen before. The goal is to extend the leg, keep the shoulder packed, extend the hip, retract the leg, opposite side. Now the goal here is to get full hip extension while maintaining shoulder pack. So if the shoulder droops, meaning that the delt slides up to the ear and the scapula glides upwards, and the hip doesn't get extended. So we have to flare the lat, pull the shoulder down, lock the elbow, flex the tricep to get the full hip extension. Retract the leg in, but keep this elbow in. So if this arm flies out, when you transition, it's all going to be in lateral delt. If you keep your arm in, your guard in, when you transition, this down. So it's a great transition. It's also a good tactical habit to keep the braces in, especially when transitioning movements. In level 2, you're going to be working on getting to this position. It's a core challenge. It's also a leg strengthening exercise, especially in the rotation we're going to be using it. But we're not holding this statically, which is a challenge in and of itself. We're going to be moving through that through rotation, which is going to make it completely full body intensive. So as we remove the back leg, we're going to extend, pull the toes towards the shin, kick out, cross legs, move the back leg into position. So back leg comes out, extends, kicks, squeeze the quad, pull the toes towards the shin, kick the heel away. Lock out the opposite leg, cross the leg, kick back. So you can see that we're working very heavy on the core, very heavy on the legs. Your legs are going to be fatigued at this point in time, so you're going to have to focus on pulling them in from the core. Keep your arms up for balance. You can place them back for training wheels, but try and suspend yourself from doing that so you can focus on using the core. When you place your arms back as training wheels, then it makes it leg intensive. We want to focus on being able to pull the legs from the core rather than balancing on structure to kick. So from shin box, back leg kicks, exhale, legs tight but held from core. Second leg comes into play. Cross the leg, back to shin box.